Hello everyone, I am so much welcome to tutorial. I still remain your shoemaking made easy tutor. Ojurole Mojibola. Guess what today? I'm going to be showing you how to create this beautiful piece of slide. Yes, if you're watching my channel for the first time, I need you to sit down, relax, and enjoy this particular tutorial because I did it specially for you. Because I know you might be having challenges with wrapping, you might be having challenges with how to also welt, and I have covered all of that in this video. Come on, subscribe right now, like this video, and I'm going to see you right in class. I'm gonna be right. So all I have here is actually an extension of my reduced insole. I extended by 1.5 centimeters. So whatever sole you are using, just reduce and extend. So I've extended all around and I've drawn it. I've just drawn that out. Now if you look at the line here, this is actually my joint line. It's one of the most important parts of your shoe last. So if you don't know how, let me know in the comment section. I know I've taught us on that. So all I did is place like that and mark it on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually call this out my leather. Don't forget we have two different colors. This will be one color, the other lower part will be another color. So what I will do is I will ensure I have like extra, like had about 0.5 centimeter to this particular length because I wouldn't want it to be short by the time I divide this into two. I'll add extra to this. Now you have two options. You can decide to actually stitch it together in between here. You can stitch it together before you wrap. You can decide not to stitch it. If you don't want to stitch it, I believe you don't need to add anything extra to the width of this by the time you divide it. I mean, by the time you cut this through, maybe this, of course, this is actually the army green according to the design, and this is the sky blue part. So if you are stitching, ensure you had extra 0.5 to this, 0.5 to this, is 0.5 to this. I mean this length. So after cutting, don't cut exactly that particular size, extend it a bit more and do the same thing to this one if you are stitching. If you are not stitching, you don't need to do that. Just go ahead and wrap it like that. But I believe it's better to stitch it together if you are going to actually be working with it this way. If you are going to be separating the inner sole, probably you are separating this side from this side, then you can decide not to, add extra. But if it's together like this, I'm going to suggest you stitch it, you understand, before you place it and align that your stitch to this particular part. So you can see what it looks like. I've stitched it right here. So I'm going to apply gum here and here just to make it a bit flat. I don't want it to be standing upright like that, so that it will not be really showing. So I'll apply my gum here as well as on this side as well. Now it's dry. Fold it over it. Ensure you open it well. So you can see what it looks like out here. So we can go ahead and wrap this way. Now for this particular one, we are going to be using a width of about 8 centimeter. My width is about 8 centimeter. And then my length is about 22.5. That is for the front design. I'm going to fold, just a bit by the edge all around. So I'm going to go ahead and place it. Ensure that you have enough to go, over all of them. I'm going to draw it out so that is exactly where I'll place it. I think I need to adjust this part. So draw it, then apply your contact cement adhesive on this and on this. So you're going to place it now. So check the other side, smoothing everything. So this is what we have right here. So now we're just going to apply our gum again all over and wrap. I am not intending to add an insole cardboard to it. So this is the way I'm going to use it. I'm using a 3mm EVA foam, which is also called Mako here in Nigeria. You can decide to add an insole cardboard if you want to, but for me, I am okay with it this way. I just want it to be this way, so that's why I'm not going to be adding, you know, any form of insole cardboard right on top of that. So let me apply my gum and wrap for you to see. Don't forget that it has a tongue, so ensure that you know, create the tongue. I'm going to be measuring about 3.5 inch as my length. I'm going to measure 3.5 inch or 4 as my length. So 4 inch, I mean 4 inch is about 10 centimeters. So don't mind my tape rule. I don't know why it's dividing. So we have 10 centimeter, and I'm going to make sure the width is about 1 centimeter, so that it will not be too wide. You understand? You can use a toe guard. If you don't want to use a toe guard, you can decide not to also use a toe guard. So I'm going to prepare that particular, you know, tongue right there. We call it tongue. So we're going to prepare it and then position it. Now for the positioning, I'm going to place this here and ensure I have enough on the two sides. By the time I place my what do they call it, my inner sole, I want to be sure I have enough, you understand, before I mark where I'm going to be inserting it, because you must make sure that you place it in the right position so that you can easily go in right here. So let's check what this is. Be careful. So this is what I have. So I'm going to measure what this is right now. So my measurements, this is about 10 centimeters from this edge, and the other side is about 12 centimeters. So you can see that this part is longer, and of course if you look at our shoe latch, this side is longer than this. So for the welting process, I have already, this is my sole. So I've cut out my sole. I ensure that it has extra by the side. So with that extra, I'm going to be welting my sole. So you can decide to use a little bit of your contact cement adhesive to hold the edges down, just to make sure that it doesn't move. And you can also use this, just place a little, just to hold it down. Please don't put too much because it may not remove easily. So we have that right there. So I'm going to just go ahead, make sure you sandpaper your welts and apply your contact cement adhesive on it. So I want to ensure that the middle is holding to. This side seems not to be holding it. So you can see what I have here. So when you want to welt, you welt from the inner part. So I'm going to start from here. Make sure it's very close to it. And you see what we have. So till you get to this side, I'm going to try to reduce it here. You have to be very careful so that you don't over reduce it. So I'm going to just a bit more. So the two of them will, you can press it open like this, then put it down there. So this is what it's going to look like. So what will I do now? I'm going to just trim that all around. So now we are going to go ahead and begin to lace. Now for our lacing process, we are going to start with the tongue, this particular one. So what am I going to do? I'm going to measure about 5 centimeters from this side, from here to here, about 5. I'm just going to try to mark it down. Then check, is this up to 3.5? If it's not, I'm going to move it in a little bit, let it be at around 3.5. So this is what I have. I'm still going to check again, is this still 5? Yes, 5. So I'm okay at that point. So what it means is that I'm going to actually punch this one here. You can either use that other punch or you use this. So I don't need it to be too wide, but I just need it to be a bit open so that I can insert this. Please let it not be too wide. Don't use the size of your tongue to determine how wide, or else it will be too wide. So you need it to fit in perfectly well. So you can see what I have right here. So I'm just going to insert my shoulders and pull it. It will serve as my guide. So I'm going to lace this here and also lace this here. Basically, this is going to be my guide for where to position, you know, my beautiful women's slide, right? You can see that it's looking so beautiful. Now of course we are going to be still adding our ruffle. All you need to do at this point is just apply your contact cement adhesive, and then if you want to use this, you can use, but I'm going to suggest that if you are not sure it will size the person, don't use this, or else it will spoil the whole shoe, the whole leather for you. So just apply your contact cement adhesive and go ahead and place. Now this is size 40. This particular size 40 most times is always too small for those people who have a very wide feet and they use 40. So what you can do is you can decide to actually place let's say like an EVA foam under it, you understand, so that it can suit the size of the person. Depends on the, of course you must have measured the ball girth of that person to know what exactly to use. So this is about 3 millimeter Nora that I added under it. You can see it. By the time I remove it, you'll find out that you can see that it's a bit free now. All right, so that's another trick you can use to actually last, or you make it a bit loose. So instead of pulling it and making it firm, you make sure that it's a bit loose. So I think that will be very okay too. If you want it to be loose, just release it this way instead of making it firm on it like this. So you can release it a bit just for it to stay right there. But if you have checked their ball guard and you find out that okay, it's perfectly the same with the shoulders, then you can go ahead and lace it that way. So I'm just going to apply my gum, and this is all we have with lacing this particular one. So just take your time after lacing to apply your contact cement adhesive lavishly, and then allow it to dry. Make sure you don't have anyone piling up this way, so that it can dry effectively. So you can see that I have tried to roughen all those surfaces just for it to properly adhere. So it's dry. We're going to take our time to begin to put it right in there. So this front. So you can go ahead and hammer all of it at the back. If you hammer this side, don't forget it will be showing different marks, so it's better to hammer this side. Or you make sure you stuff this place maybe with a fabric, you understand, before you hammer it, so that you will not have any kind of what do they call it, like marks on top of this. So I think the next thing is for us to attach our bow. Yeah, you can see how neat it is. You really have to be very careful when you are working on your footwear. When you apply your contact cement adhesive, you have to be very careful. Ensure you don't apply anyhow, so much so that it will smear all around and you have to sit down and start cleaning all over again. So I just decided to add welt to mine, just for me to be able to show us how to welt. In case you are watching my channel for the first time, it's a beautiful bow slide we are creating. Alright, this is what it finally looked like after attaching the bow. I actually intended to add the video of the bow, but I found out that it's going to be taking a longer time. So I'll create time to actually teach us how I attach the bow. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to see you next time. Bye.